pressing hard. And you send it.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, meeting's called to order. Item number 4.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the May 11th meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve the item 4 on the agenda minutes of the May 11th meeting. Questions or comments?
I actually do have one, thought about it after the meeting last week. On the hirings of Sharon James and Kimberly Gregory, it was, isn't that the hiring by domestic relations is under court, so isn't that the hiring by President Judge Jason Lee?
Well, we have a recommendation of Ray Bell Taylor. She's the director.
Right.
She reports to him, but it's
Right.
still underneath her.
But wouldn't it officially should reflect that he is in charge of that hiring and the commissioners are not, right?
We used to
Right,
do
we
that.
acknowledge the hiring.
But it just doesn't reflect him.
Right.
His efforts be added.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 5.
Make a motion to approve item number 5 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Arnold, or Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 5 on the agenda, to ratify and approve the cash disbursements, electronic payments. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye. Make a motion to approve item number 6 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 6 on the agenda, to ratify and approve the seminar requests and their payments for seminar requests. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve item number 7 is listed on your agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 7 on the agenda, ratify and approve the hiring of Ashley Wilson of Montrose to the part-time corrections officer. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried.
Make a motion to approve item number 8 is listed on your agenda.
I'll second that. No.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 8 on the agenda, ratify the transfer of Jonathan Zelowitz from Brackney to the part-time corrections officer to the full-time position of corrections officer. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Make a motion to approve item number 9 is listed on our agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 9 on the agenda, ratify and accept with regret the resignation of Stephen Luque from the jail for Mark Shelton. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 10.
Make a motion to approve item number 10 is listed on our agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 10 on the agenda, accept the regret resignation of Brenda Landis from domestic relations. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
I should also say President Judge. Item 11.
I make a motion to approve item number 11 on the agenda.
I'll second that. Motion by Commissioner Arnold, second by Commissioner Hall, approve item 11 on the agenda, approve transfer of David Friedenthal from full-time union position custodial to the union position of prison maintenance electrical HVAC technician. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Item 12.
Make a motion to approve item number 12 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 12 on the agenda to exonerate the tax claim bureau from the following taxes. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 13.
Make a motion to approve item number 13 is listed on our agenda.
I second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold to approve item 13 on the agenda, acknowledge and sign the contract between Susquehanna County and Probation Department and BTM software. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
14.
Make a motion to approve item number 14 is listed on our agenda.
Second that?
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 14 on the agenda to ratify and sign the electronic government payment services agreement between Susquehanna County, GIS, and Merchant Multi-Service. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye.
Make a motion to approve item number 15 is listed on our agenda.
I'll second that.
Item 15, motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 15 to ratify and sign the electronic government payment service agreement between Susquehanna County and the assessment. Questions or comments? Yes.
This, when you say government payments, is that from the state government?
No,
Or
it's-
county?
It's a GovPay program, so you can go online and pay for maps online.
Oh, for, if you need that kind of thing from the county?
Right. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 16.
Make a motion to approve item number 16 is listed on our agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 16 on the agenda, approve the change order for Johnson Controls Incorporated for additional renovations at a cost of $558,000 with final approval of plans. Questions or comments? Yes.
What are the additional renovations?
From the last that we had, the addition is we've had to, in order to comply with the state specifications for the magistrates area, we have to put additional staircases and stairwells in enclosed for that area. That also includes the 12-foot push-out and the glass walkway for additional 2 conference rooms and 3 offices.
That's acceptable under Acts 13 fund?
Yes, it is.
And what's the category that you're using for Act 13?
Falls under several, falls under tax reduction, falls under judicial, falls under public safety. All in favor? Aye. Item 17.
Make a motion to approve item number 17 is listed on our agenda. They're all reappointments except for Elizabeth M. Arnold, who is an appointment.
Second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 17 on the agenda. Questions or comments? Yes.
Hey, when did the Northern Tier Regional Planning Group start? When did this actually start?
Been here as long as I've been here. Been here longer than that.
You mean so several years it's been going on?
At least 10, 15 years.
At least 10, 15?
All in favor? Aye. Item 18.
Make a motion to approve item number 18 is listed on our agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 18 on the agenda, the reappointments of the County Tourism Committee. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 19.
Make a motion to approve item number 19 is listed on our agenda.
Second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to authorize commissioners to sign the program management agreement for the Emergency Food Assistance Program, TFAP, between Susquehanna County and Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, whereby the county agrees to manage the program through its lead agency, Tree Hab, and pass through a minimum of $500 per month. Questions or comments?
What does that actually mean? I mean, what is this program?
Tree Hab has a program for emergency food for people that are in need.
And they're getting it from what? What does the 500 per month mean?
The $500 passes through from us in the Department of Ag, through us to Tree Hab.
So you're giving a donation to this
No.
thing?
Again, it comes from the state, passes through us, and goes to Tree Hab.
And then, do you know how many food banks we have at this point in our county?
No idea.
And what the poverty rate is?
Nope. All in favor? Item 20 says it advertised the purchase by sealed bid for for services. It's not purchases, it's services.
I'll make that motion with the change.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 20, to advertise for services by sealed bid for the 2016 Bridge Deck project bridges 4, 15, 25, and 36 bids. Will be due 12 p.m. on Tuesday, June 21st. Questions or comments?
And what is this actual, can you describe
We
it?
have several bridges that the decks on need to be ground and resurfaced.
Several bridges in the county.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are they? How many
I'd
are?
have to get you that information. I don't have that with me at this time. There's 32 bridges in the county. We've got 4 of them that we're taking to do some surface work on. We do work on bridges every year. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 21.
Make a motion to adopt proclamation 2016-10 proclaiming June as Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Month.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold to approve item 21, proclamation 2016-10, June as Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Month. Questions or comments?
Is this the first time we've had this?
Yes.
And who suggested it? How do you get these things?
I have to check with the chief clerk. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 22.
Make a motion to adopt proclamation 2016-11 proclaiming June as Dairy Month.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold to proclaim, do proclamation 2016-11, proclaiming June as Dairy Month. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We do have our Dairy Princess and alternate Dairy Princess here today, and we have Taylor Sebring, which is the Dairy Princess, and we have Brooke Marvin, who is the alternate. And we're going to give them a couple minutes. They'd like to say a few words about what they do. So if you please.
So, my name is Taylor Sebring, and from this past year, starting in last June, I've had the opportunity of being this Dairy Princess. Through the year, I have gone to so many different things throughout our county promoting dairy, as in we can refuel with chocolate milk, and we would do that at a lot of runs or having to do them at kids' football games, anything like that. We also hand out cheese, we do milk. We play games and we do little kid promotions. My favorite promotion I went to was the Mountain Views 2nd grade field trip to the Empit Dairy Farm. And what we did there is we played like a questionnaire game where we would throw a ball around and they would get to get the question that was on that ball and answer it, and they all had to do with dairy cows and anything that had to do with their nutrition. Also, this Friday, May 27th, I'm inviting you all to come to our county pageant. I will be handing over my crown to Brooke Marvin. She's going to be the 2016-2017 County Princess, and I would like to let her speak now.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Brooke Marvin, the alternate Dairy Princess of Susquehanna County. As Taylor said, in about 3 days, I will begin my new reign as 2016-2017 Dairy Princess of Susquehanna County. Within my new reign, I plan to attend multiple community events, along with make a special appearance at classrooms, at nursing homes, libraries, and so much more. I am so looking forward to building my relationship and friendship with local consumers and farmers. And more importantly, I am so proud to serve another year as a dairy promoter to support each and every farmer in our community. And it is so amazing to know and to think what one industry can do for each and every one of us. And to conclude, I would like to thank you for having Taylor and I speak on behalf of June being Dairy Month. And nevertheless, I hope that you all have a mootastic day and that you consume your 3 every day of dairy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think you brought some goodies or something?
You did cheese.
Well, there you go. You want to pass it out now, or?
Whenever you like. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You can do it while we're having our public comment. You can do that. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, at this time we'll go to public comment. Yeah.
There's 2 vacancies on the Conservation District. I was wondering first if you're going to go to the nominating organizations for input, and also what the timeline is on that.
Yeah, actually, we will do that, and check with the chief clerk after this, and make sure we get that process going. Any other public comment? Yes.
I'd like to know the latest information you have on the proposed hazardous waste incinerator in New Milford Township.
Well, I don't know of any hazardous waste incinerator.
Well, it's all in the news.
Well, I don't know who came up with it, but I've never heard of a hazardous waste incinerator. But I haven't got any information on any incinerator in New Milford other than what was said here at the last meeting. So,
Well, how did the story just erupt out of nothing?
well, never let the facts get in the way of a good story. I mean, I can't help what the newspaper writes and what people say.
So there's none coming for Susquehanna County.
Well, I'm not saying there's none coming, I'm saying I don't have any knowledge of anything going on at this point. There was an inquiry.
But you will let the public know if something does happen?
Well, absolutely. Just like I let the public know when I got the phone call, just like I let the public know when I got the call for the 3 million chickens that wanted to come here.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Commissioner Hall, have you met informally or formally with any organizations that are interested in putting an incinerator in New Milford Township?
Have I met with any? Yes.
Recently, like in regards to a property near the Gibson exit?
Haven't had any conversations with anybody recently.
Okay.
Have you had conversations the past 6 months?
Yeah.
And what was
We knew that
discussed?
after the last meeting.
I know, but can you tell these new people who are here who haven't heard you and they haven't come to the meetings, what did you discuss like 6 months ago, past year, with any group of investors?
The same comment I had in the last meeting that was put in the paper by the news people is that this company came and asked about locations and looked at the opportunities to try and put something in.
And what's the name of the company?
I have no idea what the name of that company is.
Now, in the director's report for the Planning Commission, Bob Templeton says it's the Tyler Corners Group. Do you know that group?
Well, I would say you talked about Templeton, but yes, I know Tyler's Corner Group.
And have they looked at any property that you know about or that you've taken them to?
I have not taken them to any property. I know they've looked at properties throughout the county and throughout the state,
So have they bought anything yet?
to my knowledge.
I was informed yesterday, I won't release any names, but it's Louis de Naples that's looking on putting an incinerator up there.
Well, I don't think
And I've
that's,
heard he's had a lock on the land for over the last year, and so that means he's out probably getting permits and whatever else it takes to get in.
well, if there was anybody doing anything, they would have to file, first of all, for DEP and EPA permits before they do anything. And nothing's been filed, as far as we know. Because that would come not only through our office here, it also go through the township, and nothing's been filed. And again, everybody wants to create rumors, and I'm telling you right now, as far as I know, the Naples is not involved in this at all.
That's right.
Again, I can't help people from rumors and people telling things that aren't true. We've also had people call and say, I want to bring 3 million chickens here.
I'd rather see chickens than an incinerator.
I also had people call about pig farms. We also
I'd
had
rather see
people
that,
call
too.
about water recycling. We've had people call about lots of different things. So, any other questions?
Now, as far as the Planning Commission goes, when something is presented to the Planning Commission, any inquiries or any permits or applications for land ordinances, they make the decision, the Planning Commission, which is a group of volunteers besides the director, they make the decision whether they follow all the regs to be approved to put in, let's say...
Whether they do follow the regs or don't follow the regs? Is that what you're asking?
Well, in order for them to be approved by the Planning Commission, who does the approval? Just them, or
The
do...
Planning Commission approves any thing that comes to their desk as far as that qualifies for the Planning Commission review.
So if there is an incinerator coming at some point, don't they have to also go...
Somebody's got to build a commercial facility. At some point, it will have to go through the Planning Commission, yeah.
And then if they approve it, do they also have to get approval by any of the county commissioners? Do you also approve the
No.
Planning Commission?
We have no authority over it.
You have any input at all?
No.
So it's just the director, Bob Templeton, and about half a dozen volunteers
That's correct.
who make the approval for the building of a industrial building on the property?
That's correct. And depending on what township it is or what borough it is or municipality it is, there may be other issues as far as their own zoning or their own ordinances that have to be complied with first.
Now, what would you suggest if a township didn't want to have, let's say, an incinerator in their township? What would be the best thing that they could do to keep him out even? What would you suggest?
I don't have any suggestions for that. Any
Do
other
you-
public comment?
Would zoning help? Would zoning be able to keep out, or ordinances by the township, would they be able to keep out?
You can't discriminate against somebody, just like we couldn't discriminate about, if people want to move here from another part of the state or another state at all.
So you couldn't put into a particular ordinance that we don't want to have anything that emits any industrial incinerators?
You'd have to check with legal on that. Any other public comment?
And I would like some more information about the compressed gas facility on 492. Have they bought property yet? The property of the old trailer park?
I have no idea.
So you don't know? And also, I understand that you do real estate. Do you sell commercial property and residential?
Yeah.
And you show both? You're licensed to do both? Have you shown anything the past 6 months, commercial property, to investors?
No.
No? So they just inquire and they don't come to look at any property through you?
Well, no, listen, I do know the difference between what's ethical, what's unethical, and what's a conflict of interest. So if a company comes to me, I'm not going to show them a piece of property anyway.
So that would be considered a conflict of interest?
To me, I consider it a conflict of interest, whether it is or not. Yes, please.
If I lived in New Milford and I was opposed to any group putting in an incinerator, I guess it would be incumbent on me to make sure I went to planning commission meetings.
Either that or go to New Milford, you could go to New Milford Borough. Now, New Milford Borough has zoning.
Thank you.
But New Milford Borough just takes care of the borough,
There you go.
Right?
Absolutely right.
but that doesn't take care of the township. So if it comes into the township where there is no zoning,
Well, understand too, just because you have zoning doesn't give you the right to say who can and can't come. That's discrimination, just like we can't tell people who can come and who can't come.
so you're saying we can't say anything like we don't want any toxic emissions or any kind of toxic emitting industry coming into?
Again, Vera, you love to twist things around, and again, you assume that everything is toxic and everything's going to kill
No, I'm just
everybody.
asking if there is
Well, Let me
toxicity.
finish now.
Okay.
And again, you don't know any more than I know, and I know less than most people know about who's coming and who's not coming. And as far as any type of regulations, and with any of that stuff, DEP and EPA is involved in all of it.
So it doesn't mean that, even if DEP is involved, doesn't mean there won't be any toxicity there. They allow a certain amount of pollution. So that's their job. Their job is to regulate pollution, and they allow certain levels.
I don't think DEP will agree with your assessment of what DEP offers. So any other questions?
It's not a question, it's a comment. If you live in a township or you live in a borough, and you suspect that something is going to be going on in your township or borough, it's incumbent on you to go to a township or borough meeting and sit there, find out the facts, and then express your opinion. And if you don't like, you make sure that you pack the house the next time around. You know the names of your township supervisors or your whoever council members, and you need to start at a grassroots level. You cannot wait, and because the county has no jurisdiction over any of this, and it is at the township and the borough level, that's where you have to begin. And if you don't begin there, then you don't begin at all.
Well, I think, and you started out exactly right, getting the facts, which most people don't do. Any other public comment?
I want to
Last
make,
one.
I want to make just an announcement that the federal agency, let me get my glasses, but the ATSDR, which is a federal agency for toxic substances, they just did a review, and people can get this online, and I'm going to post it on my video. This just came out that groundwater was, the sampling and the private wells, 64 private wells in Dimmock, were reassessed after EPA said they were safe for drinking, and they came out and said that there are high enough chemicals and other elements to affect health out of at least 27 private wells in Dimmock, and that they are of health concern and they should not be used for drinking. So just to let you know, that report is out and it's public for anybody who wants to see it, 122 pages.
Right, and I think what the 122 pages, and also, again, let's make sure we get the facts correct. the conclusion from that was that out of the 122 pages is, yes, there is toxicity in the ground, there's some arsenic, and there's some methanol, but again, they don't relate it as to who is at fault for it, whether it existed before they started or after they started or what.
Well, that could be, but the thing is, EPA said in 2010, after they did the study and the same data, they said it was safe for drinking. Now, ATSDR did a study 4 years later, and they're saying it's not safe. So how would you assess that?
Well, I assess that the two agencies don't agree.
So if you happen to have those water wells, what are you going to do if you are the people? You're going to take which report? If one says it's not safe.
They have it tested? No, any other public comment? Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor? We are adjourned.